Hi Pathway Kids, it's Miss Jenna. Welcome back to week 4 of our Pathway Kids Advent Devotions. This week I have Lydia with me. Lydia, can you look up and say hi?
Hi.
Lydia is going to be with us to show us the craft for week 4. And on this week we learned about how God wants to be known. Sometimes God can seem kind of mysterious because we can't see him, but in fact God wants us to know him, and he invites us to know him by reading our Bibles. And another way that we can know God is to look at Jesus. In fact, we know that God sent his son to tell us about who he is. And so to remind us of that, we're going to do a craft today. And the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to take this white crayon, and you can either do this yourselves or grown-ups, you can do this for your kids as kind of a surprise. And you're actually going to write the name Jesus on your white piece of paper. So I already did it on Lydia's, and she's already started with her painting. And Lydia's, you can see, is kind of starting to paint over her picture. And what's going to happen is as you paint this, and you can do like, this is just like a quick red over top. Lydia wants to do rainbows, and so she's starting with all kinds of pinks and purples. Very pretty. Go ahead and get further down. And you can see that as Lydia is starting to write, words are starting to pop up, or letters are starting to pop up. And what does that spell? Do you remember? Whose name did I write on there?
Jesus.
I wrote Jesus. I'm gonna borrow this for a minute. So I'm gonna do it on mine. I'm gonna use my favorite color. Lydia, do you remember what my favorite color is?
Green.
It is green.
You could probably use this one because that one's probably teal.
I could. It is kind of teal. I like a dark green. And so I'm just kind of using the green, and I'm gonna brush over just to show you what it looks like when it's done.
If you touch these, they're gonna be white, but then you're gonna paint mine.
You think?
Yeah.
Oh, Lydia, what did I write?
Jesus.
Jesus. You want to keep painting yours while I talk? And so it's going to look something like that. You can see my Jesus pop through. And if you want to, you can kind of go over it and make it a little bit darker. You can even go over it with crayons or with black. But what we wanted you to remember, you do. What we wanted you to remember is when you first wrote Jesus on this, you couldn't really see the words. In fact, when I wrote it, Lydia said to me, you know, nobody's going to see that because it was white on white paper, right? But once you paint over it, all of a sudden now you can see the letters. And so we wanted to remind you of the fact that even though we can't see God, if we want to know what God is like, we just have to look to Jesus. And so it's a reminder of that invisible white on white, all of a sudden you can see it when you paint over it. And so we hope that this is a reminder for you of that. You can just do this for a fun experiment. You can do it and hang it up somewhere. We did put a little hole punch in there. If you do want to hang it on your tree, you can use your hanger, and you can do that and hang it up on your Christmas tree. Or you could prop it up somewhere, frame it in a picture, whatever it is that you want to do with that. We hope it is a wonderful reminder. It does look colored. We hope it is a wonderful reminder to you that God wants to be known by you, that he's not an invisible God that we can't see because we have Jesus. You're using colors in the room. Very pretty. I'll show you Lydia's before we end. Lydia is using lots of pretty pinks and purples and oranges to make hers, huh?
Yeah.
We can't wait to see what colors you use and how you do this creation, and we hope that you'll show us by tagging us on social media at Pathway Kids Advent 2023. And we can't wait to see you back next week. And it's going to be, actually not next week, it's going to be tomorrow because it's Christmas Day. And so we invite you to come back tomorrow for Christmas Day, and we can't wait to share a craft with you then.
Tomorrow is actually Christmas?
Not really, for us. Have a wonderful day.